think we're about halfway through the film now. This will be part 6 of my commentary on the Voyage of the Dawn Treader film. And I'd be lying if I said these videos weren't starting to wear on me a little bit, just because this is not a film that deserves this level of analysis. It's actually a really shallow film. There's really nothing going on in this movie, or very, very little. And that's one of the reasons I found it so boring. Just not that much going on in it. It'd be nice to do a 10 to 12 part review for a movie like, say, Inception, or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or say Watchmen. Movies that actually have some substance, some stuff going on. There's nothing going on in this movie. This is just total popcorn flick. But because I'm such a huge fan of the book, anticipated this film for so long, it's almost like, yeah, this has to be done. I have to give this a report card, for everything, and just also kind of bring closure on it, to move on here. But so yeah, we are about halfway through the movie here, I think. And the crew is they've been to the Lone Island, they've been to the Dufflepud Island, and Koryakin had that horrible dialogue scene, this terrible dialogue where he explained to them everything about the mist and the seven swords, having to find the blue star and everything. And the next scene is Eustace's journal. Get some voiceover there. And again, Eustace's journal is something where I've been saying for a while that works great in the book. I don't think it can work in a movie, though. I was proven wrong. Did a pretty good job on it. It helps tie together some of the uneventful parts of the voyage. They came up with some good lines for him here when he's saying, the only good side is that everyone is just as miserable as I am now. He's talking about the storm. They have that cool shot of Reepicheep sitting on the prow, similar to a shot I always envisioned that'd be cool for the movie of Reepicheep sitting on the prow, only I always wanted a sunset in the background. Oh, Reepicheep, he's so brave, he's so cool, blah, blah, that's all they're saying. Then we go to a scene where Drinian is talking to Caspian in his cabin, trying to get him to turn back. Makes sense for Drinian's character. But it basically, hey, turn back, there's no reason we're going to find the blue star anytime soon, and we might starve, we should turn back. And I can think of a lot of valid answers King Caspian could give Drinian here. He could have told him, no, it's my duty, I'm not going to do that, or no, think about the lords, we have to save them. You could say, what about Aslan's country? I think that'd be Reepicheep's answer in the book for sure. In the book, Reepicheep says that it would be worth anything, he says, just to get one glimpse of Aslan's country. That'd be Reepicheep's answer here. Maybe he could say, oh no, that green mist we have to defeat. What about the people who were devoured or whatever the green mist did? Instead, Caspian says, oh, well, then maybe you want to be the one to tell Rince that we're abandoning the search for his family. That seemed of all the things Caspian could have said, that seemed like one of the weakest things, especially since we don't really know Rince or Gale is the mysterious little girl. And then of course Drinian thinks, oh, that shut him up. Drinian starts saying, oh, we could starve, we could all die. Caspian's like, well then, what about the MLG? I thought that was a pretty weak answer. This is another kind of boneheaded thing. Caspian does a lot of boneheaded things on this journey. Then the next thing we cut to Lucy. It's actually some decent cinematography in this scene for a change. Lucy is lying in bed and she looks at the page she ripped out in the magician's book and says the beauty spell. And there's this cool light she kind of leans into, and she sees this mirror. We're gonna find out later this whole thing is a dream, presumably just a dream given by Aslan. But anyway, she walks through this door, and now begins one of the weirdest, most uncomfortable scenes in the movie, that some fans have come to call Lucy's "It's a Wonderful Life" scene, where she gets to see what would life have been like if she hadn't been born. Doesn't seem all that well connected to what she's wishing. She just wants to be more beautiful. It's not that she wishes she'd never been born or anything. But I guess you could say it's just Aslan who's controlling this dream. Is trying to make a point about wishing herself away or whatever. Anyway, you have William Moseley as Peter making an appearance here, and both Will and Scanner's performances here, they both seem kind of high in a really creepy way. It kind of reminds me of how Daniel Radcliffe played the scene in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when he drinks the lucky potion, or the Felix Felicis, whatever it's called. Sir? It's just really like happy and high and weird. And then Lucy, oh, stop it! And she, not wakes up, but she appears back on the Dawn Treader. It's just a really weird scene, and it's just kind of silly. I was describing it to some friends of mine. They were like, "Wait, are you joking? That's actually in the movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's actually in the movie. Someone wrote this on a piece of paper and said, yeah, this is a good idea." Then we have Lucy looking at herself in the mirror, and there's a really cool reveal where Aslan walks in, and she's talking to him in the mirror. I wish they hadn't have that scene where she turned and like, what? He's not there. I just think that, especially being a dream, I don't think she would question that. But that was a shame. Anyway, Aslan starts saying a lot of lines that kind of sound nice, but don't really make sense. Like, you wished yourself away, and with it, so much more. I don't think Lucy would have wished herself away. I think she just wanted to be more beautiful, and then you wish yourself away, and with it so much more. What is this so much more Aslan's talking about? I mean, seriously, let's think about that for a second. And with it so much more. What is this so much more that she wished away? It probably might look nice on a bumper sticker, but doesn't actually make any sense. That's most of the things in this movie. Think about it for 2 seconds, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Then Aslan starts reading her mind and says, "Oh, you doubt your value." And I think of a lot of reasons you could tell any human being why they're valuable. People certainly there's a lot of people that in this world that certainly struggle with self-worth and self-esteem. And the answer Aslan chooses to give her is, "But you discovered it first." It's Lucy's action, the thing she's done, that makes her valuable. The reason Aslan gives her is, "Oh, it's because you discovered Narnia first." Does that make the other three Heaven Seas less valuable because they didn't discover Narnia? That was a really weak answer. Then, of course, Aslan tells her to, "Don't run from who you are." It's just the same old believe in yourself, kind of logic that we get, in Hollywood. Just totally cliched and boring. Lucy finally wakes up, "Aslan!" Again, another cliche thing. Wake up, no! Or in this case, "Aslan!" And then as she takes the paper and crumbles it up, again, Lucy just totally finished her character arc in about, 1 minute there. Bang. Oh, well, crisis averted. That's over. And she throws the paper in the fire. And for some reason, Aslan, there's like the kind of like line of the Witch Norge of Aslan's face is in the fire and he roars. Not sure why he would roar. I would think he'd be happy she was, throwing it away. I didn't really get what was going on there. And of course, then we cut to Caspian and Edmund in their hammock sleeping, and this is the Green Mist coming back. And this is the first appearance of the White Witch. I'll talk more. Just the White Witch, it just doesn't seem appropriate to me. I think, first off, Edmund demonstrated the fact that he had conquered the White Witch. He had moved on, at the end of towards the end of Prince Caspian, the movie, when he's the one who cracks the witch's, when the witch is almost coming back, he stabs her. I think and Peter was taken in by her spell and Edmund wasn't. I just think demonstrating the fact that Edmund's been through this and he's moved on. He has conquered the witch. It's totally, whereas Tilda Swinton in an interview is talking about the scene, and basically, the scene in Dawn Treader. She actually says, the White Witch really scares these kids in the first film, and they never get over it. Does not seem consistent with the books at all. I think that the message we get in the books is that there is ultimate victory over evil. You do get past these things. And then furthermore, with Edmund sort of conquering the witch at the end of the Prince Caspian film, and then bringing it back here, Edmund's whole struggle with temptation with the White Witch, I thought was really, it's like they're running out of ideas, so they revert back to the line, "The Witch in the Wardrobe." And I've talked a lot about that in the past, so I won't dwell on it too much here. Then you have Caspian's father come out of nowhere. He's, "Father," we see his father's ghost or whatever. And then Edmund wakes up, and basically, Edmund, being so brilliant, of course, says, what was the line? I think he says, either we're both going mad or something's playing with our minds. I actually think, given some of the illogical decisions the characters have made in this movie, I think the first option might be more likely. But again, Edmund has to say that out loud because they're afraid we won't get it. If he doesn't say, "Oh, someone's playing with their minds," then we might not get it. So you have to have Edmund say it. I think that's pretty self-evident. Again, the filmmakers think we're stupid. And then we immediately dissolve to a new island. Again, no build-up or suspense or what are we going to find? Bang, we're there. And you've got a shot where they're looking down into this cave into Deathwater. And again, someone says, "What do you think could be down there?" Instead of letting the audience kind of wonder that for themselves, which only seems natural. You're looking down this dark cave. What are you going to find? An audience is going to wonder, "Oh, I wonder what's down there." They have to say it out loud for us. "Well, what do you think could be down there?" Again, all the work is done for us. We can't get involved in what's going on. And that's what we're going to see that a lot in this next scene, the whole Deathwater scene. It starts out pretty promising. There's a really cool shot of Edmund's reflection in the water, and then it pans up to a shot of him. I thought that was really cool. And we pan over and we see this creepy gold statue, and hardly as an audience do we have time to go, "Oh, that's a little creepy." They actually say it for us. It looks like some kind of gold statue. Again, saying it for us out loud. Everything in this movie. Then finally, it's like they're narrating for us. Like they think we won't get it. I think it'd be a lot creepier to show the gold statue and go, "Oh, gold statue, that's kind of weird. Let us do that for ourselves." But instead, they have to narrate it for us. "Looks like some kind of gold statue." Oh, brilliant, guys. And then they figure out that this is the Lord Restamar. And again, instead of letting us, the audience, kind of infer for ourselves, "Oh, that means that must have been a real guy. He must have fallen in." This is after they figure out that the water turns things into gold. Instead of letting us make the connection, Oh, that wasn't just a statue. It must have been a guy who fell in. They do it for us. Again, oh, he must have fallen in. And then, of course, they show no remorse at all over the fact that the Lord Restamar, a Narnian lord, has died. They immediately go, and there's his sword. We have to get that. Again, this is not like, Reepicheep's whole line that he says in the book about, so far as I know, we did not set out on this journey to seek things useful, but to seek honor and adventure. The movie is about finding things useful. It's not about honor and adventure. I think Rillian pointed out, I can't remember, I think it was on his YouTube channel, that I think if they couldn't find the lords, but they found their swords, I think they'd be happy. But if they couldn't find their swords, they only found the lords, they'd be kind of upset. They just want their swords. They don't care about the lords. They show no remorse at all. We'll see the same attitude later when they find Lord Octesian's skeleton. Oh, where's got to get a sword? We need that. Then Edmund, of course, starts testing out. He puts a shell or something into the water and turns into gold. And there's Scander Keen, and it's kind of over the top. We could do whatever we want. No one could tell us what to do. It almost seems like you're seeing the origin story of a serial killer or a supervillain or something. The way he does it, it's really, really over the top. And I think it's funny because I'm looking at it going, this is really weird. I'm not buying this. And then Lucy and Caspian kind of glance at each other. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be going, this guy's lost it. This guy's crazy. And then Caspian says, you can't take anything out of Narnia. I'm not sure why Caspian said that. And then Edmund starts getting in his face. He's like, I'm tired of playing second fiddle. Again, it's because this wouldn't come through in the story any other way. They have to say it out loud for us. There's so much telling. There's no showing. There's no showing in this movie. This is such a really. This is one of the probably the second worst dialogue scene after Koryak map explanation. Just it's embarrassing. Like I felt embarrassed watching it when you see the way they deliver these lines. I'm tired of playing second fiddle. They're kind of getting into each other's faces, and then we have one of the lowest moments for the Narnia series so far. I think is that Aslan being cut out of this scene. In the in the book, you read it and you really feel like Lucy was kind of becoming a part of it as well. She was getting frustrated, like, "Oh, stop it, you two," and that she was going to become a part of this conflict that was about to break out. Then Aslan appears and breaks it up, and basically they all in the book just kind of forget what they were even talking about because Aslan just takes away their greed immediately. And there's no Aslan at all. It's Lucy to the rescue here who breaks up the fight. I didn't like that change at all. Aslan has been completely just he's just this, I think Rillian described him as a sidekick who helps who helps them out every so often. He's just kind of this. The emphasis is shifted to the kids being the real heroes rather than Aslan. It is the whole focus of the book. That's one of the reasons I say it's kind of it's not that it fails to capture the book. It's that this is almost an anti-book thing. It's the opposite of what the book was saying. I thought that was one of the most difficult changes for me to make, is to completely cut Aslan out of this scene. He has no. It's Lucy who ultimately saves the day, and of course she has to say, "This place has tempted you," because of course they're afraid that, despite the fact that they even have the green smoke in this scene again to tell us they're being tempted again, because they think that we're stupid and won't understand that a character is being tempted. Unless, like, can you imagine in Prince Caspian if every time Peter was being arrogant, there was like green smoke on the screen to tell us he was being arrogant? I mean, that they weren't subtle enough about it as it was. And that I have like, oh, green smoke to tell the audience, oh, Peter's being arrogant. That'd be horrible. That's basically what they're doing here. If they're not being very subtle with the fact that this movie is about temptation at all, then they have to say it out loud for us over and over. This place has tempted you. Anyway, the scene's over very, very fast. It's one of my favorite scenes in the book. It's over like that. Just horrible dialogue, cheesy acting, really bad scene. And you could probably tell these videos are starting to wear on me a little bit. I do want to do them just to make sure that when I look back, I have kind of a record of what did I think of every scene and how might they change. Just because these books are important to me, I do want to evaluate how the film did. So I guess we're just over halfway through the film now. And we'll also start talking about Eustace being dragoned in the next video. And of course, the first Narnia poop joke. Ha! Hooray! Anybody excited?